Hi, I'm Hannah Holman, and I'm here today to talk to you about allergen-free food. The ethical type I chose for this is utilitarianism, and this is because I feel that with the rise in allergies, it's estimated that there's 15 million people in the U.S. that have a food allergy, and I think with that, producers and restaurants and even consumers are all doing their best to provide safe food for people like me. I personally have a milk allergy, so I know firsthand the cost issues as far as from a consumer's side of having an allergy. I found a website that estimated that it's a $3,500 a year extra financial burden for food, as well as lost wages from being sick and medications and that sort of thing. On the positive side, I have here with a rise in allergies, the demand for allergen-free food has gone up. Therefore, companies, producers, restaurants, they can all benefit from providing food for people like me because there's so many people out there looking for it. Whereas when there wasn't as many people with allergies, it was a lot more of a cost than a benefit to them to provide that type of food. Another positive is that allergies and the regulations of food and labeling has really helped provide everyone with safer food. It's caused more regulation, more inspection, and in 2004 there was a law passed where they have to label foods with the certain allergens, which I have an example of up here. It might be a little hard to see from there, but it just has the little label that says contains wheat, soy, egg, and milk ingredients, may contain traces of tree nuts. So this is pretty common when you have an allergy and you look for that type of stuff. A lot of times they will also have the allergies listed in bold, and then another thing that they will put on there is if it's produced on the same equipment as a certain allergen. So maybe you find a loaf of bread that doesn't have any milk in it, but it was produced on machinery that produced other bread that does have milk in it. And so when you have an allergy, you can't eat that. And then another label that they will put on there is if it's produced in the same facility, so that you know that there could be a potential for cross-contamination. Another positive or benefit to this allergen-free food and the rise in allergies is that it has forced consumers to be more aware of what they're consuming. Even people without allergies, like I said, with the labeling, it's caused more awareness, more food awareness. People are just more attentive to what they're putting into their body. The negatives or costs of this would be the cost to produce foods without allergens or cross-contamination. It's a lot more regulation. It's a lot more, changing gloves and being really strict about all that, especially in restaurants, because it's pretty hard, unless they're a vegan restaurant per se, to provide completely dairy-free food that you know for a fact hasn't been around any cheese or milk or butter or anything like that. So it's just that extra cost of training people to deal with allergies, and the extra equipment and the extra everything. And as far as for factory type of producing, a lot of times they have to have separate facilities to be truly allergen free, which I have a couple of places here. Enjoy Life is actually free of 14 common allergens. A lot of places will be free, or a lot of companies will be free of the most common ones. There's 8. There's peanuts, tree nuts, fish, shellfish, eggs, milk, wheat, and soy are the 8 top common food allergies. Dea is a dairy-free company, and then this is some extra. This is Dea. They offer a lot of other things, not just cheese. They offer cream cheese, sour cream, dressings, pizzas, that kind of stuff. And then Enjoy Life offers a lot of things. They provide chocolate chips, cookies, other types of snacks, that kind of stuff. But with all those companies, they have extra costs involved for producing that type of stuff. Also, the cost of ingredients for these types of specialized foods is more because they're just a little bit different types of ingredients, not common stuff that can be pretty cheap, which is why a lot of companies won't produce allergen-free food. And because of the rise in cost for producers, it raises the cost for consumers, so this is another negative. Like I said, it's a pretty big financial burden on consumers with allergies because you can't not get allergen-free food because you're allergic to it. So you have to take on that cost whether you want to or not. And lastly, the increased labeling, while it has been beneficial, it's also another negative for producers because it costs them more to regulate and to have to label, and all that kind of stuff costs them more money. Personally, my thoughts are that I think it's pretty clear that the costs and the negatives outweigh the positives or benefits, but that being said, there's no option to not produce this kind of food because, you know, allergies are way too common now, so therefore they have to produce allergen-free food. People have to be labeling, people have to be doing that. So my hope in the future is that we can find more cost-effective ways to produce this type of food, and as these allergies become more common, people will be able to find ways to produce it more effectively and safely and all that kind of stuff. And personally, I really enjoy being able to support companies that produce this kind of safe food for people like me. The last picture I've included on here is from So Delicious, which is another dairy-free company, and it's of my favorite type of ice cream that's made out of cashew milk, and it's called caramel cluster, and it's very good. So, yeah, that's my presentation. Thank you so much for watching.